Perfect. Now I'm live. It's pretty cold here. Whew. All right, guys. Welcome to Small Lugg Screening. And today, I will be talking about and bringing out certain books, perhaps books that I've collected and that I've purchased around a few months ago. And I didn't know. Oh, and I don't know why I then thought about having to make like a what they would call, I think, essentially a book hunt video. Just showing up their collection, what they've purchased, and see what they're into and what's their interests on. Not even just for books, but like it can be like a collection of like DVDs, CDs, vinyl collections, cassette tapes. What else? VHS tapes. If I ever seen any YouTubers that have done a VHS collection, because I actually own one now, and I'm also trying to start a collection on that as well. But for that, we're gonna talk about books that I purchased, and to first start off with on my well, why am I? I'll just say perhaps book collections and book hunts. I rarely hear that coming up, but that's just what I thought in my head right now. And what I purchased here is the Red Hot Chili Peppers Frequently Asked Questions book. Now, this is surprisingly, I've been a huge fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. One of the most popular 90s bands, alternative rock bands of all time. And for me, what I've known them for was, their song with the funk rock and rap rock sound, which I really love. And I've seen several documentaries on this. I think I've seen ones where they were on their recording sessions of Blood Sugar Sex Magic, which was, I guess, their biggest album ever. I don't know if it's I think commercial should be commercially their best album. And I don't know if I heard them that much about review wise, but I think it's always sticking between Blood or Californication. And so for this one, it says here, all that's left to know about the world's best-selling alternative band. I want to know way more. I want to know a lot of things about the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I love the band a lot. I've listened to all of their albums, all of their EPs, especially their compilation albums they were put as leftovers on the recording sections. Like let's say there's actually even an album called I'm Beside You that came out around 2013. And what they did with that album is they would have these songs that were already recording for their, I believe, I don't think that was their 10th studio album, but I believe it was I know it was later on. This was during the time of 2011. And let me see. Oh, why is this so hard to find? There you go. It's actually their 10th album, the 10th studio album, which is I'm With You. Now I've heard the album. I already said I've heard the album. I've heard a lot of the B-sides. So for that album, that I'm With You, when they're recording that, they had songs that weren't fit into the final cut of their album that would essentially become was supposed to be with the I'm With You album, but instead they kept it quiet. And now that I've heard that I think it was during I think it was like a national record day, whatever those things are, whatever those called, like a record day, record store day. And they happened to sell, they were having to sell, I think, the vinyl or the CD stuff on their with their limited edition project of I'm Beside You, which is, of course, again, the compilation of I'm Beside You, of recording session, unreleased songs from I'm with you. Now, I mean, yeah, I mean, from this book, I mean, I gotta know more. What's their influence? Definitely more. We need to know more about their influence and about how they got together. Because I mean, honestly, I mean, they used to be like, I was probably like this was probably the only band I was listening to a lot back then. And for some reason, yeah, I wanted to get sidetracked with other stuff of music, so I began to expand more of my taste because years back I used to get into a lot of rock, and that's just it. I just hated everything else. But okay, but I hadn't read this yet, so I mean, hopefully I will read it soon, maybe for someday, get to know them more. And for our second book is this Death of the Territories. So now I'm a huge wrestling fan, of course, that you guys may know that of my Nanoscopic Sharp contents. That's where I provide wrestling reviews on professional wrestling. The AEW, Ring of Honor. Hopefully, expanding it on Impact, Game Changer Wrestling, and like what it says here, it talks about their classics, the old stuff. I don't know if it was before it had been established as the World Wrestling Federation or the other territories that they had back then. That before WWF was the WWE, now was the biggest wrestling company ever. And I think this talks about how McMahon's plan was going on with taking over the business, and and still living it up, and still being like the guy who's been the big boss of professional wrestling. And it says here, expansion, portraying the war that changed pro wrestling forever. And I've heard there was a certain day, a story of how Vince McMahon, I think they screwed people up, or I don't know. I really don't know exactly. That's why I have this with me, to know more in depth about the story of Vince McMahon. And what else? I even read this part here, but I knew definitely I saw Vince McMahon's face on the TV, so I was like, I have to get it. Especially since a few years back, I almost lost my love for professional wrestling. And around 2019, it left such a dry year. I didn't even watch WWE, of course, at that point. Cause I didn't really like how it happened on WrestleMania 2018. I just stopped from there. And yeah, and then I stopped watching like all the independent stuff. I went like Progress or Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, everything that you can think of from the indie stuff. If I even try to remember, I lost a lot of. I began not watching it a lot lately. At that time, 2019. But luckily, I came back, of course. And I'm also, like I said, I'm revisiting old stuff that I watched before. Even stuff that I hadn't even finished watching, like the pay-per-views, most importantly. So from 2012 and 2019. So this one talks about Vince McMahon and other promoters here too. So I get to also, hopefully it's not that difficult of learning about the wrestling business or how it skyrocketed onto Vince McMahon's pockets. And so this one was a very interesting book that I'm actually reading right now. This is Kraftwerk's Future Music from Germany. Now, this author, I don't know how you pronounce his name, but I'm not gonna say it. So he's a big fan of this German electronic band. I wouldn't say band, group. And I've been listening to them for 2 years. Rarely at times, and I always thought their music was very interesting with the electronic. It sounded very minimal. They have their minimal production, but they always make it in a way like very like kind of cinematic, and of course futuristic. Very interesting band that I would have loved to see them if I ever went to go see them live, because I never been to a concert yet. So never ever never went to go see like a big tour or anything like that. And this guy, yeah, happens to be just like just a fan about it. He's gonna go talk about what was the meaning of, but try his best on the tradition of craft work, and the group's stages with, I guess, their friendship, I guess, and what else? Just the sounds, acknowledging how it became a big thing in Germany with the music culture. So that's this is right now. This is what I'm reading right now, and it's pretty good. I even read the introduction, and I was already hooked on it. So that's good. And I'm also trying to learn a lot of electronic music, and I think I've mentioned on my fascinating four of music. There's I think there's like probably three or two full length albums that I've heard that I was trying to get into for electronic, which was, I think, Yellow Music Orchestra, and I did also listen to Kraftwerk's Radioactivity, and I think that's it. And I think there's another Yellow Music Orchestra album that I've listened to I think it was a collaboration with the producer. What was it called? And I've heard a lot about that. Kraftwerk were pioneers of this, with this big, this electronic funk synth thing. Whatever you guys may call it. Even I'm learning it. I'm trying to learn a lot with electronic music. There you go. Solid State Survivor. So this was in 1979. The Yellow Magic Orchestra, I think, collab with. I think it was with producer. Well, there's more producers here, but I think the notable one was the I don't know how you say this one. Harumi. So Hosono. Here, let me be here. All right. Okay, where did I start? Okay, yeah, I just finished. Okay, the Kraftwerk. Okay, now there's another book that I've had that I've purchased, and which is never even seen this book actually, and I finally get to own it. That day when I went to the bookstore. This was Bring That Beat Back. Now, I got into hip hop, and let's just start it somewhere from maybe late 2016, 2017, maybe 2016, late 2016 and 2017, because there was just very few songs that I've enjoyed. Didn't got into their full length stuff. I didn't did anything like that. That I remember. I just was trying to expand myself, but like I said, just a very few songs, and of course there were some that were good. But 2018 is where I had my big moment, change, like flipping my picks on genres, and making such a huge change on myself, and on listening to music genres in general. So 2018 was a big year for hip hop. I decided to listen to the old stuff to see what was it like back then, and I enjoyed. There was a lot of stuff that I was impressed and were actually very influential, that I started thinking about having doing production, just music in general, just music. And this talks about how sampling built hip hop, and the word sampling, that's just, I just automatically there's already like a flashbulb in my head. I just want to take somebody's song and just recreate it. So that's pretty much, that's the whole point. By far, on my definition of sampling. So sampling is re-recording what's already been recorded, of a song, whatever it came out in the radio, whatever in the radio. I mean, in on the CDs, whatever on whatever music device that you guys have been listening to, whatever platform. And I always hear a lot of produce. I mean, that's the main point on. That's like one of the main factors of hip hop is, taking let's say taking a drum beat from a let's say from a like say a soul song, a soul funk song. You use that drum, and what they typically called when it's just only the drum playing, and then taking out everything else from like the vocals, whatever, like the guitar, bass. You just leave the drum opening with his skills, and they would be called a drum break, and that's when hip DJs were beginning to experiment on having to extend that drum break. Or it can be anything else. It doesn't have to be a drum break. It can be anything else. It can be a bass line, a drum, slap bass, whatever you think of as a synth chord, whatever, melody, harmony, whatever. That's what's the whole point. I like their do. It's like having. It's not like a remake, but it's like kind of what it reminds you of is like a reboot of whatever original song that was written and produced. Then and producers and like DJs and other producers get to change that original formula and making it their own. So that's what's so unique about sampling, and why I need to know more about sampling from this book. So I bought this. So I bought that. So, and I think last year. So last year, 2020. Of course, this COVID thing happened, and I started reading. Not that I didn't read before this COVID stuff. I've read a very few times, but I get to read more and then research a lot. And here's already shown. So I'm here to say that I've got into these comic strips lately, and the Peanuts were it's like I think they're the most popular. I think what they call comic strip or Sunday News. Yeah, comic strip. I think that's what they call it. For the children or for adults as well. I mean, this is. I've always thought. I mean, of course, they're it's an icon. They're iconic from their appearance. Charlie Brown, Snoopy, Woodstock. I mean, I've began liking their 50s. Because this one I actually have here is the 1955 to the 56 of the 50s. Right now I'm starting with the 50s of Peanuts. I'm trying to read it, by release dates, see what's up. And actually, yeah, and bought it for $8. And I like this, and I actually read everything from this already, because there was a different collection that was hardcover, but now I bought this paperback, which is fine. I love paperback, but of course, hardcover is dope too. But I've been reading the cartoon stuff, and it's really fun. I like Peanuts, and I think I should start reading other stuff like the Mad magazines, Garfield, and I wonder if the Looney Tunes have one, because I've only seen them from like their television programs, which I liked. And I think that is it. Yeah, that is it, guys, for my my little book collection. Let's just say part one, because this is not the only one. I have way more, behind you guys. So hopefully there's another one coming in. Well, I wouldn't say anything about the next book hunt, the book collection episode. But hopefully I release it once I bring out when I bring out the wrestling, and then probably another movie review, and then another full length review or like music review. And yeah, I think that'll be it. I had to release a video now, because I was having some frustration on doing these recording sessions on what video I should be talking about. But And I thought about the book the book collection, because of course that's what I thought of right after I failed on introducing you know on the movie reviews that I've been working on. And sadly, I don't have any movie review right now with you guys, because I failed to introduce it with right now with just before this video happened, I was making um some recording session, so I can see if this might be the best video for today to publish. Luckily now we got this book on, so that's good. So yeah, thank you guys for watching on this book collection. And I think this is the first time actually that this is being recorded on my new computer, which is really nice. I want to make this such a big difference than the previous computer, which was, I still have it with me. I think it's right next to me. It's a nice computer, but yeah, it's been having a lot of problems with the battery. But thanks for watching with everything that's happened today. I'm glad I already have a video for you guys to watch. So hope you enjoyed this one. Hopefully you guys had fun. Comment if I should do something else. Maybe, see what's up. See what you guys have any ideas. And yeah. Have a good day, and I wonder when will the next video be. So goodbye.